Many thanks for joining us for Friday morning Sports Splash on ABS TV, and this is the last one for the week. Thank you very much for being here. It's been a whole lot. I'm talking about sports down from Monday down to Friday, and today we'll have the concluding one for the week. My name is Ike Mokedi. On the show today, I'll tell you that NFF to inaugurate a futsal and beach soccer committee. Yes, a President Federation Cup grand finale to hold June 29th in Abuja, and CAF to make AFCON and WAFCON announcement as Steve Copper appointed as Leicester City new manager. And those are some of the stories we'll be checking out on today's edition of Sports Splash, and also fixtures and results service of the ongoing Euro 2024 being hosted by the country Germany. Now let's start with our first story. Our first story on the show is about beach soccer. And let's tell you that President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau, is expected to inaugurate the Federation's futsal and beach soccer subcommittee, of course, at the NFF Secretariat in Abuja. The committee has as its chairman Otuekong Nse Esiam, with the chairman of Nigeria Football, Alhaji Ahmed Yusuf Fresh, as a vice chairman. The members are Minu Mohammed Unoa, Honorable Suleiman Yahaya Kwande, Haji Liamid Gaffa, Mr. Richard Jidaka, and Yabagi Alhaji Baba. I also have Abubakar D. Umar. Bade is the secretary of the committee, and futsal and beach soccer subcommittee is responsible for the organization of all futsal and beach soccer competitions and deal with all matters relating to futsal and beach soccer. Nigeria has been a continent and to some extent global power in beach soccer. In previous years, with the Super Saiyan Eagles winning the Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations, and that was in 2007 and 2009, and reaching the quarterfinals of the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Italy, and that was 13 years ago. The Confederation of African Football last week conducted the draw for this year's Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations qualifying series with the Super Saiyan Eagles drawn to play Mauritania at home and away next month. A total of 14 countries will be involved in the qualifiers, with the 7 winners to join host Egypt at the finals. Mauritania will host the Super Saiyan Eagles on a day between 19th and the 21st of July, with Nigeria hosting the return leg a week later. For the first time ever, the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup will take place on African soil when Seychelles takes stages at the tournament, and that's coming up in the year 2025. But the main news is that the Beach Soccer Committee has been set up by the NFF President Ibrahim Musa Gusau, and of course they've been giving their terms of reference on how they will function to take beach soccer to the next level in the country and bring it down to the different clusters, and expect that it grows at the state level, at the grassroots level, and all that. And now to football. The grand finale of this year's President Federation Cup men and women's competition will take place at the MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, on Saturday, the 29th of June. NFF General Secretary Dr. Mohammed Sanusi said that the date has been agreed by both the NFF and GTI in view of the fact that Nigeria have until midnight of Sunday, 30th June, to submit to the Confederation of African Football the names of our representative clubs in next season's continental club competitions. Having looked closely at our programs at the men and women competitions are at the moment, and the need to submit the names of all representatives clubs to CAF for African club competitions next season. Ourselves and GTI have reached a consensus for the grand finale of the men and women finals of the President Federation Cup to take place on Saturday, the 29th of June. The venue is at the MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. The women's final will begin at 1 p.m. while the men's final will commence at 4 p.m. as has been the tradition for so many years now. NFF and GTI are committed to putting up a great show of this year's grand finale. We'll hear. Meanwhile, the quarterfinals of the women's competition took place yesterday. That was on Wednesday, and out there in Benin City. and also Enugu, and Nasarawa Amazon took on Remo Stars. That was in Benin, and the girls are from Ikene have been following in the footsteps of the men's team Remo Stars in chasing for honors this season, with the men's also firmly in the hunt of a CAF Champions League spot at the MPFL season rounds of next Sunday. The Samuel Obomudia Stadium is also the venue of the clash between Delta Queens and Sunshine Queens, while FC Robo Queens of Lagos and Nigeria Tales of Abuja clashed in the tantalizing match-up played in Asaba. The Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu, of course, a match champions, Enugu Rangers are a match champions of the MPFL season last Sunday, is the venue of the clash between Oshun Babes and Rivers Angels. And still talking about the Federation's Cup, inspired Abia Warriors, of course, we're expected to go all out for glory when they take on Powerhouse, a team and former winners, Kano Pillars, in the semi-finals. And I can tell you that in the semi-final match of this year's President of Federation's Cup at the Lafayette City Stadium, and I can tell you that Abia Warriors have got the better of their opponents, and Abia Warriors struggled for several weeks in the relegation waters, but finally secured their premiership status when they defeated Akwa United 2-0 in a matchday 37 game. On Sunday, they will approach, of course, they will be looking out for the big one to get to the finals and then get the better of their opponent when they take the KB United take on El Kanemi Warriors in Abuja, and the winner of that are expected to take on the winner of the match between Abia Warriors and Kano Pillars. Moving away from that, let's talk about Nigeria players in diaspora, but this time a Nigerian footballer, women's footballer, talking about the Olympics. Superstar Aisha Asisat Oshoala has declared her confidence that the Super Falcons will not only advance from the group of death at the 2024 Olympic Games, but possibly win a medal. Nigeria has been drawn alongside world champions Spain, Japan, and Brazil in a brutal group which has fans fearing that their stay in Paris will be a short one. However, in an interview with the media, the former African Footballer of the Year winner declared that just like at the Women's World Cup, Nigeria will overcome the odds. At the World Cup last year, people say the same thing. They say we were in the group of death with Australia, Canada, and Republic of Ireland, and could not qualify, but we did. I have a lot of confidence in this team. We have many young players, and we can make things difficult for our opponents. We don't just think about getting out of the group. I think we can actually walk away with a medal. Nigeria earned their place at the Olympics thanks to a hard-fought 1-0 aggregate win over South Africa back in the month of April, securing a qualification for the first games since 2008. And the women's football tournament is set to kick off on July 25th. A day before the Olympic Games opening ceremony, and will culminate with the final in Paris, and that's coming up on August 10th. So we wish the girls all the very best, the Olympic team all the very best as they get set for the football event of the upcoming Olympic Games. And now quickly to the continent, let's tell you that the Confederation of African Football, CAF's Executive Committee, is set to meet this Friday. They are expected to discuss several issues, including the dates of the upcoming 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON and the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON finals. Both tournaments will be hosted by Morocco, and we are reports of the AFCON finals are being pushed forward, and this raised down questions. CAF has now announced that a virtual executive committee meeting will be chaired by its president Patrice Motsepe as the leaders of the African football deliberate on key matters. And the Confederation Africaine de Football Executive Committee, ESCO, will hold a virtual meeting on Friday, the 21st of June, 2024. A statement read, the ESCO, to be chaired by CAF President Mr. Patrice Motsepe, will deliberate on a number of matters, and the ESCO meeting will start at 17 hours Cairo time. That's about 14 hours GMT, which is translates to 3 p.m. Nigerian time later today. Leo Lux Metropole midfielder that Nabil Bentaleb has been hospitalized after falling ill on Tuesday, and he could potentially miss at the start of the preseason. The Algeria international recently featured for his country in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Guinea and Uganda, starting both of those matches, while he was also a part of the squad that suffered an early exit from the 2023 African Cup of Nations. Bentaleb joined the Les Dogues in August 2023 following Angers relegation from the Ligue 1 at the end of the 2022-2023 campaign, and he made 34 appearances across all competitions for Bruno Genesio's side last time. However, the Lille native came down with an illness on Tuesday and was taken to a local hospital with the club, stating that they are closely monitoring the welfare of their youth product. LOSC informed that Nabil Bentaleb suffered from illness on the evening of Tuesday, June 18, and the player was immediately taken into care and sent to Lille University Hospital for hospitalization. The French outfit said in a statement, Loxa Lille accompanies Nabil as closely as possible during his ordeal and gives him all his support. The club also calls for greater respect for the private life of its player. I'm talking about Nabil Bentaleb, and wish him all the very best and wish that he recovers quickly and come back to the round leather game known as football. And let's go to Uganda. Uganda's Football Federation, FUFA, has banned 13 individuals, including 10 referees, after successfully uncovering a South African-based match fixing syndicate with the help of FIFA. Will hear, and the player and 2 administrators are among those who were handed provisional 90-day bans by FUFA on the 13th of June, and 7 games across the second divisions of both men's and women's football in the East African country were adjudged to have been targeted by the fixed ring between October and December last year. We received a lot of information from intelligence and collaborators and different platforms that there was a vice of a match fixing in Uganda. Charles Twin, a member of FUFA's investigatory chamber, said on Tuesday, and calling the problem so damaging. Twin said that FUFA, which launched an anti-doping fixing campaign in March 2023, has incontrovertible evidence against the Ugandans involved in the match fixing. He said, I can comfortably call it a criminal syndicate because match fixing is associated with so many crimes, crimes of corruption, money laundering, and sometimes organized crime. He said, such groups often target matches outside a country's top flight, given the lack of television cameras which could expose any fixing in the lower tiers. Match fixing became a criminal offense last year in Uganda, which is scheduled to co-host the 2027 African Cup of Nations alongside Kenya and Tanzania. In a separate development, last week, a world governing body, FIFA, issued a global 5-year ban to 5 players, including 3 from top-flight clubs, Gaddafi FC, and 10-year suspensions to 2 referees from Uganda. The 7 individuals had been, suspended by FIFA in August 2023, the same month that Uganda President Yoweri Museveni signed the National Sports Act, which criminalized match fixing into law. You're watching Sports Splash on ABS TV. Let's go for a break. When we come back, I will tell you about the upcoming Olympic Games and who is set to feature. And of course, the United States will be on the focus, and we'll talk about a certain athlete who is preparing. We'll also tell you about Wimbledon champion Vondrousova, who has suffered an injury scare. And then we'll let you in on Jack Draper's preparation for the 3rd Grand Slam of the year in tennis, talking about SW19 Wimbledon. And we'll also check out what's happening in the European Championship being hosted by Germany, and also go to the King Power Stadium and tell you about the 2015 champions of the English Premier League, Leicester City. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Splash, the second half of the show. In the first half, we told you that NFF President Ibrahim Musa Gusau has inaugurated the futsal and beach soccer. And of course, I remember we railed out at the members of that committee. We also told you that the President Federation Cup finals will be holding on June 29th. Later this year, and of course, you know that CAF gave NFF the deadline to submit the names of their representatives before midnight of June 30th. So that's why the finals will be holding on June 29th to determine the winner, so that the NFF could expedite action and do the needful by sending Nigerian names, the clubs' names that will be representing them in the inter-club competitions, such as the CAF Confederations Cup and the big one, which is the CAF Champions League. We equally told you that Asisat Oshoala has expressed his belief that the Super Falcons, the Olympic team, will get the better of their opponents, despite being in the group of death, where they are being pitted against nations like Spain, Japan, and Brazil. And he's optimistic that they can even get a podium finish in the course of the competition. And we also told you that CAF is to make decision about the AFCON and WAFCON announcement as regards some crucial matters regarding that. We equally told you that Nabil Bentaleb has been hospitalized at the Lille University Hospital and he's recovering. That's some positive news are coming in. And we equally told you that 13 persons were banned as Uganda, of course, tries to break the ring of match fixing that's bedeviled the growth of football in that country. Moving away, let's tell you that United States sprinter Rhion Kingston has been cleared to compete at the Paris Olympics after avoiding a ban for a failed drug test. The 20-year-old was provisionally suspended in April after testing positive for metabolite trembolone in the month of March. But an independent arbitrator ruled that it was more likely that not Kingston digested the banned substance when he ate and some contaminated meat. USADA, United States Anti-Doping Agency, said that despite testing positive, there was no fault or negligence on the athlete's part. And Travis Atigard, the USADA chief executive, said that justice was served. Trembolone is a known livestock growth promoter that is usually legally used legally in beef cattle produced in and exported to the United States of America. And the decision comes before the U.S. Track and Field Olympic trials begin on 21st of June in Oregon. That's today. And Kingston became the youngest male since Jim Rhion in 1964 to make the U.S. Olympic team when he qualified for the Tokyo Games in 2021, going on to finish fourth in the 200 meters final at the age of 17. And moving away from athletics moving away from athletics and now to some tennis news. Let's tell you that Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova has suffered an injury scare less than a fortnight before her title defense is due to start, and the Czech has slipped and fell when leading 5-3 in the first set of a second round match against Anna Kalinskaya at the Berlin Open. Vondrousova clutched her right hip and called for a medical timeout before retiring 2 games later with the score at 5-all. Wimbledon takes place from the 1st to 14th of July, with Vondrousova set to start her title defense on the same day. The 24-year-old became the first unseeded player to win the Wimbledon women's singles title when she beat Ons Jabeur in the finals. And Russia's Kalinskaya will face world number 3 Irina Sabalenka, who brushed aside Daria Katskina 6-1, 6-4, and 8 of the world's top 10 are competing in Berlin with only top ranker Swiatek and world number 7 Jasmine Paolini absent, and Jabba fought back from a set down against Linda Noskova to set up a quarterfinal match against Coco Gauff, and world number 2 Coco Gauff defeated Russia's Ekaterina Alexandrova 7-6, 6-2, and third seed Elena Rybarikina claimed a 6-4, 7-5 victory over Veronika Kudametova to set up a last 8 encounter with a former world number 1 Victoria Azarenka. At the Birmingham Classic, Britain's Henrietta Dart fell to a 6-3, 6-4 defeat by Czech second seed Barbora Krejcikova in their match. Meanwhile, British number 1 Katie Boulter is guaranteed to secure a Wimbledon seeding after Elisa Mertens, who sits on one place behind Boulter in the rankings, retired injured against Caroline Dohid. And Jack, I'm still talking about tennis. Jack Draper says winning his first ATP title set him free of negativity and led to his stunning victory over Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz at the Queens. And new British men's number 1 Draper, 22 years of age, earned a 7-6, 6-3 victory over defending champion Alcaraz in the second round. And Spain's Alcaraz, 21 years of age, saved 3 match points at 5-2 before Draper served out from a 0-30 to the delight of an ecstatic home crowd. He continued a memorable week for Draper after he claimed that the first time ATP title of his career at the Stuttgart Open, and it was on Sunday. On Monday, he was confirmed as his nation's leading player on the men's tour, and beating world number 2 Alcaraz, who claimed the French Open earlier this month, is the biggest win of Draper's career by ranking. He also ended 3-year Grand Slam champion Alcaraz's streak of 13 straight wins on grass. And Draper, who extended his winning run to 7 matches, will play American 5th seed Tommy Paul in the quarterfinals come this Friday. And now to some football news before we wrap off the show. Leicester City have appointed a former Nottingham Forest boss Steve Cooper as their new manager on a 3-year deal. Cooper, 44 years of age, has been out of work since leaving Forest in December 2023 rather, and the Foxes have been searching for a new manager since Enzo Maresca departed for Chelsea at the start of the month of June. Maresca joined Leicester City at the start of last season, guiding the club to first place in the Championship and an immediate return to the Premier League after their relegation, and that was in the 2022-2023 season. And Leicester were disappointed that Maresca opted to leave the club following their Championship title win. And the Foxes are considered a number of replacements, including West Bromwich Albion manager Carlos Corberan, and Cooper provides the Foxes with the Premier League experience, having kept Forest in the top flight by finishing 16th following their promotion, and that was in 2022. He was a popular figure with Forest supporters, but he was sacked midway through last season with the club at 17th on the table. And the former Forest boss guided England's under-17s to victory at the 2017 World Cup, and also spent 2 years at Swansea, taking them to the Championship playoffs final in 2021, where they lost to Brentford. Cooper's first competitive fixture in charge will be on the 19th of August when Leicester City host Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. And now to European football. Now, Euro Championship is ongoing. Yesterday, there were actions in Group B. In Group B, Spain defeated Italy by 1-0, and Calafiori's own goal in the 55th minute was all that Spain needed to see the better of Italy. And in Group C, Slovenia played out a 1-1 draw against Serbia. Goals came from the boots of Kali Siknic in the 69th minute of the game for Slovenia, while Serbia restored parity through Jovic in the that's at the end of almost at the death of the game. That's at the 5th minute into injury time. And elsewhere was Denmark 1, England 1, and Harry Kane got the goal in the 18th minute of the game. And of course, Denmark held their nerve to restore parity through Holman in the 34th minute at the game, and there 1-1 at the end of our 90 minutes. In Copa America, Argentina defeated Canada by 2-0. And back to Europe. Championship are being hosted by Germany. There are matches for today. Poland will take on Austria by 5 p.m. later today. Watch out for Netherlands taking on France. That's a cracker. Poland taking on France tonight, 8 p.m. You can't afford to miss that match. In Group E, Slovakia will take on Ukraine by 2 p.m. But the star match for the day at the outgoing Euro is Holland taking on France by 8 p.m. And that's in Group B. I'm sure you watch that game. And on Monday, we'll be back here talking about the results of the Euro Championship, the results for today, the results for Saturday, and that of Sunday, and the fixtures for Monday. We'll be talking about that on the Monday edition of Sports Splash on ABS TV. Well, that's the size of our package this morning. Thank you very much for being here all through from Monday down to Friday, talking sports on this dial. The show will adjourn and take a break until Monday for another episode. I am Ike Nwokede. Have a lovely weekend, and remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.